Hello and welcome back to my kitchen. Today I'm going to be making French dip sliders. I'll be starting off the recipe by melting down 2 tablespoons of onions and caramelizing 1 large onion that I've thinly sliced into half rings. And I'll also be throwing in 2 sprigs of fresh thyme. Now that I have the onions and thyme tossed around in that butter, I'm going to hit them with just a little pinch of salt. This is going to help the onions start to break down, and I'll also give it a few cracks of fresh black pepper. Now these are going to sit here on the lowest temperature setting on my stove and allow to slowly caramelize over the next 30 to 40 minutes. After 40 minutes of cooking, the onions have caramelized and the thyme has done its job, so I'll be removing that and then transferring the onions into a bowl. Now that I have the onions caramelized, it's time to start building the sliders, and I've started off by laying the bottoms of 12 slider buns onto a sheet tray, and I'll start layering on 1 pound of deli roast beef. Now that I have all the roast beef divided up between the 12 slider buns, I'll be topping them all off with 1 slice of provolone cheese, and then topping that off with the caramelized onions. Now that I have all the sliders topped off with the onions, I'm just gently placing the lid or their top bun on top there. And next I'm going to be brushing it with a little bit of melted butter. Once those have all been topped off with the melted butter, I'll sprinkle over about 1/4 teaspoon of granulated garlic powder and 1 teaspoon of chopped fresh parsley, a little pinch of salt, and finally 1 last crack of fresh black pepper. The sliders are now ready to go into a 350-degree preheated oven where they're going to bake for about 10 to 15 minutes or until the meat is heated all the way through and the cheese is melted. While I'm waiting for the sliders to cook in the oven, I've gone ahead and melted down 1 tablespoon of butter in the same pan that I caramelized the onions in, and I'll be adding in 2 cloves of minced garlic. I've gone ahead and let the garlic saute for just a minute here on the stove. It's all nice and fragrant, and I'll be adding in 1½ cups of low sodium beef broth, 1 tablespoon of Worcestershire sauce, and 1/2 teaspoon of chopped fresh thyme. Now that the broth is up to a boil, I've gone ahead and turned my heat down to a medium-low where I'll let this simmer for about 10 minutes to allow it to start to thicken up and reduce. Alright, and now that the sliders are out of the oven, all I have left to do is to try it out. And I do want to try it first without the au jus. Well, I must say, these are absolutely amazing. I really like the caramelized onions on here, which is unusual. I'm not typically a caramelized onion fan, but here they really work. The provolone cheese is nice and melty, and the meat is hot all the way through. Overall, I am definitely going to be making these again because these are so much easier to put together than the traditional recipe. But that is going to be it for me for the day. If you have enjoyed this video, leave me a comment down below. If you tried this recipe out, let me know how it turns out for you. And as always, thank you all so very much for joining me today. I've been Volker. I hope you guys have enjoyed, and I hope I'll see you in the next one.